What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
We're back at it to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment question, and then follow it up with your question because we get to those questions first. That is what Sarah Skittles did. She asks, given just how poorly the general population of the Imperium is treated, why hasn't there been some sort of revolution or civil war with the purpose of stopping it? ?
Especially given how big their empire is. Wouldn't this increase the chances of someone just having enough and doing something about it? Certainly, religious dogma, police state, and indoctrination will not succeed on an empire this big for that long without serious conflicts aimed at ending that behavior. Sorry if this has been a long one. I'm just not informed.
Well, let us inform you right quick. So the reason that the Imperium it stays together is because it has the Imperial might.
Yeah.
A planetary governor has only control of his planetary defense force. That's it. He is required by law to give up regiments to the Imperial Guard. If at any moment a planetary governor decides not to, which it happens, it has happened a lot, now he has to worry about maybe what would be a good estimate? I don't know, a million strong planetary defense force, like some crazy awesome planet, fighting against just an innumerable amount of Imperial Guard regiments, their navy, all that stuff, just pounding on this one planetary governor's world, who rebelled. So that's why not.
Yeah. Oftentimes, the planetary governors won't do this because, depending on the type of planet they control, they may not have a powerful PDF, planetary defense force. They may not have the sources, the raw materials needed to feed themselves or to power their manufactorums, whatever it is they have. So oftentimes they're kind of just stuck in this high position of power with no real options.
Yeah, other than just, look down, focus on your planet, don't look up.
Yeah.
And if your question is, well, how did this come about? It was back in the Great Crusade when the Emperor unified Terra and then set out took control of Mars, or negotiated with Mars, and then that gave him the ability to have technology and men to fight. He took control of the solar system, and then slowly he started spreading and getting stronger and stronger to the point where he would meet a really strong empire that had already existed, and then he would be able to crush it because he had his Space Marines, he had his Adeptus Mechanicus allies.
Yeah, he had it going on.
Yeah.
And it was such a great empire that literally planets would give up at just hearing that, oh, the Emperor's here, take what you need.
Yep. And yeah, I hope that answers that question.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing that I just want to throw out there, that oftentimes the truth gets muddled in these things. So say an Imperial governor is like, oh, we've been breached by some cultists or something. Then he's like, oh, can you guys, take care of it? They'll send all the power, and then that's when the coup can happen. Coup can happen. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that have that kind of go into it. A lot of dirty politics into play and whatnot. But overall, they don't have the manpower or the authority, so to speak, to control such a vast amount of warriors, supplies, resources to combat the entirety of the Imperium.
Yep. Next question.
Freshly cut lawn. Question. Warning. Many words. Proceed with caution.
Oh.
Since the Chaos Gods all represent aspects of sentient life in the galaxy, for example, a lot of Chaos Gods contradict one another, Nurgle representing both decay and renewal. Since this is the case, if one were to gather enough powerful psychers, could they use this warp energy to fragment these deities into smaller entities based on their many, many aspects? For example, this would be if one were to separate Khorne into gods of bloodlust and gods of honor, rather than both. Would this be possible? Sorry for the long question. I hope you found this readable.
That's actually a really awesome concept that I never thought about. I read another question. I don't know if it was in this one or in the previous one, but it was saying that if chaos gods can be created, like the Eldar created what is it called? Slaanesh. Can they be destroyed? And I thought, even if they are destroyed, they're just going to come back because those emotions still are going to exist.
Right.
But now you're bringing up a good point where those emotions you might destroy the chaos gods and those emotions might still exist, but they won't coalesce in the same being. Instead, it might be two separate beings or multiple beings, like you're saying.
Right. An actual instance of that happened with the Iron Hands. So when the Iron Hand Primarch Ferrus Manus, when he died, the Iron Council was kind of like, hey, flesh is weak, let's get rid of emotions, let's, repress everything. And that repression of their emotion actually created a chaos demon. And this demon was like gaining power from the Space Marine chapter unknowingly, and they actually fought, and it was a crazy thing. But that is a perfect example of something like that happening, whether they're they're actively showcasing emotions or repressing it. So it's like no matter what you do,
you're gonna create something.
Yeah, something's gonna happen.
Yeah. So there you go.
But answering your question, is that possible to split like a chaos god into 2 or 3 or something like that?
Oh, yeah, it is. But then that's just gonna one chaos god can be split into multiple gods, but you're still gonna have gods.
Right.
Would GW do it? No, I don't think so, because then it kind of like defeats the purpose of mirroring fantasy. So you have Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch. Do you have Slaanesh in fantasy?
Well, yeah, because there are demonettes and stuff.
Okay, yeah, so you have that in fantasy, and then 40k you also have them. And then if all of a sudden in 40k they say that Slaanesh has been broken up into 2 different ones, you're going to have to do that in fantasy. At least I would assume so. And then they already have models and stuff, so...
Yeah, it'd be kind of like, oh, so now I got to choose what faction my bloodletters are from or something like that, which would give you more choices, more options, but... I don't know. I think they're going to stick with the big 4.
Yeah, because, 40k already has so many options that you kind of get that Netflix effect, where, like, you have so many options you don't want to pick any.
Right.
Yeah. Next question comes from Dragon Punch 903. Why can't the Chaos Gods leave the warp?
So
they can, but at the same time... they're just so big and immense that it wouldn't, like, they're really comfortable where they're at. They're okay with sending
their legion out.
And then what they're trying to do is make it so that they get stronger, but their overall goal is not to come out into real space. Right?
Right. They're pretty much just trying to take control of the warp. That's why they're always fighting amongst each other. Their borders are always expanding and decreasing. It's all just a big wheel of who's in control, and it's always spinning.
Basically, it's chaos.
Yeah, and anyway, I feel like, let's say Khorne did come out into real space, like, with just one swing of his sword, he could probably blow up a planet, and that's like, that's not what he's there to do. He wants to have, a bunch of battles going on, so he can gain power from that, not just crush everything, in one strike.
Exactly. Next question.
Olus 1 Kenobi. Do any of the races take spoils of war, such as prisoners, slaves, technology, planets? Keep up the work. That is great, you guys.
Kinda.
Yeah, orcs, they loot. So, yeah, they take Bane Blades, they take Lehman Russes.
Yep, orcs take prisoners and stuff like that. They also put them to work in the mech shops. Mm-hmm. And they like to experiment on them just for fun. Mech boys or pain boys are really... they just like doing that kind of stuff. Dark Eldar, of course.
I don't think the Imperium does, because they're going to see all this alien tech as like heresy, don't touch it, don't mess with it. Tau, as far as I know, they don't really mess with it. They kind of just improve on their own designs.
They brainwash, that's all you need to know.
Yeah. They, what's the word? They don't take slaves, they take forced...
indentured servants.
There you go.
And then who else?
Tyranids they do, because they'll take all your biomass.
Yeah, but then you're just gonna be killed. So, well, I guess you're gonna be killed in the Dark Eldar too. It's just a little slower with the Dark Eldar. Mm-hmm. But there you go. Next question comes from Guillermo Mendoza. What happens when Tyranids eat plague marines? They throw up.
They get the squirts.
Yeah.
There are Tyranid infected Nurgle infected Tyranids.
And it might be that way.
Mm-hmm.
They might be infected because they consume some type of like greater demon or something. And then they have gingivitis. Next question.
This one's by Logstar1234. Do you guys think that the Space Wolves will ever find Lehman Russ?
Yeah. Probably next year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year, or at the end of this year, they're going to come out with the Lion.
What if they don't bring out the line? I'll be upset. Because we already know what's coming out for December. That Primaris Blood Angel. That Primaris Dark Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Sly Marbo.
They got some Blood Bowl stuff.
Yep.
They've also got that Plague Marine tank that looks like a crab.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like the design of it.
But what if they don't come out with the line?
I feel like they're missing out. It's like Christmas, Primark, put it in my stocking. Let me put on that stocking.
They better not fuck them up in terms of the look.
They don't have one for Forge World, right? For the Lion? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I want to see what it looks like. Because there's a bunch of depictions. Some have him with black hair. Some have him with blonde hair. That'd be cool to see how like the lion motif is incorporated into him. And hopefully he has a sword, even though technically he shouldn't have, because Cypher has it. But I don't know.
That's his comeback. The storyline is going to be him trying to get that sword back. Last question. Do you have one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we kind of already answered this one. Let me see if I find a better one.
I have one from Worcestershire Rodozo. Sorry, I don't know. I can't pronounce that name. What was your sister doing in Poland? Did she enjoy it as it is a hard country? What do you mean by hard country? She was studying over there. She visited Warsaw, of course. Warsaw is the capital of Poland. And then she lived in Gavinia maybe, which I heard is up north. And yeah, she enjoyed it. I don't know what you mean by hard. Is it because it's frozen, because it's cold?
I thought because it's such a vast cultural difference from American culture. Maybe it's like a different way to. It's hard to adapt to their customs.
Yeah, I think she was more like culture shocked in the fact that they don't speak English. So, but she said that a lot of people over there were surprised because she's American, but she's not. So she's Mexican American. So they expected an American to go over, and she's a Mexican American, so they're kind of confused about that. But other than that, yeah, she said it was awesome. She loved it. That's a funny way to end it. Yeah. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, that's all the questions we have for you guys today. That's how we do it, Gersh. Yeah. Again, leave your questions down in the comments below. Remember to put question before your question, because we get to those first. If we didn't get to your question today, write it down in the most recent for the Greater Wall, because we look at those first. Yes. That's 11 first.
Gersh one.
Sound Alchemist, out of here.